Happy 2025. It's been good to be here. And it was actually pretty funny because, well, this is technically New England, even though I'm in the tri state. And sure enough, there was snow today. And of course, well, I don't know. I'm due for a hair. Me and Teacher probably got the same thing going right now
Well, I get a
because it's
cut
wintertime.
Thursday.
I'm I gotta withdraw some cash and go see my dude Larry too, and I gotta tip him well since I didn't see him for Christmas like I did last year. I cut my hair a few times in between then, but I definitely gotta see him sometime this week, depending on what I'm doing. So, Teach, 2 weeks off and get to enjoy everything. How's things been, man?
Those 2 weeks went by way too quick, in all
I
honesty.
agree.
Because
I
I
agree.
thankfully had like a nice 3 day break each week, so one extra day off each week thanks to the holidays. I mean, Christmas was fine. New Year's was fine. Didn't do too much. Kept it calm this year.
Kept it calm this year.
Oh,
Much.
I honestly, for real, kept it calm this year. Didn't do anything like over the top. Didn't really, just kept it nice and mellow. A lot of it was reminiscing on the fact that like Recon and I are technically like 14 days or 16 days away from like our anniversary of her moving to Michigan, us
Yep.
closing a long distance. So just been a lot of
Yep.
reminiscing. We got the tree out. It was kind of nice to see us have our tree up in our apartment and kind of have our first, like big holiday swing, our first Halloween, our first Thanksgiving, Christmas, all of that together like properly. So 2 weeks went by way too quick. So
And so it's been really interesting on my end, and it's just simply because last year and even the year before, the last 2 years I've been very concerned just simply because there's been a lot of obituaries to say the least, to put it lightly. And
I feel you.
it was just a hard time, man, because couple days before Christmas, my grandfather passes. He was not in the greatest of health. This past year, I've had a couple deaths in the family realm and other stuff like that. And when it comes down to it, Teach, there's one thing I always say. I say it on the pod, and I say it to everybody, and that is get home safe. And
This is true.
the reason why this actually comes down to this is going to hit home a little bit. There is a buddy of mine, Joey, but we called him Soup. Yeah, like actual like eat soup. The reason
Like
being, we're at this park, right? And here this is Joey. He's got a t-shirt, shorts, glasses, and he's got this wicker basket looking thing. And I'm like, why is this freaking guy looking like this McLovin version of Little Red Riding Hood? And he's got mushrooms in it, and he goes, dude, I want to make soup. You find stuff in the woods, man. And I'm like, you've got to be shitting me. And ever since then, the guys just called him Soup. Very fitting. But to say the least, God rest. Joy was blazed. He got behind the wheel. He didn't live to tell about it. And the thing that pisses me off is that guys were saying that either he was stupid or it was nah, dude, it was just a strain. And I'm like, you have got to be fucking kidding me. That's your last words on the guy. Sorry, it was the strain. Like, no. You let him get into the car and you're a dick. But anyways. Yeah, the pain on that one. But that is the main reason why I say get home safe is because listen, I know too many things, high and driving, drinking and driving, you know, people in bad health don't know it. I'm tired of reading obituaries. That's why I tell people get home safe.
I can agree with that.
I haven't told that the full reason behind it. People think it's a generic one, but no, it's not. I mean that from the bottom of my heart to everybody. Get home safe. But there's got to be a couple things interesting showing up. I actually sent you a package, and I sent Bri a package.
Mm.
So you have another box coming up, but I am going to say this. There is only one spoiler I will have for you. All I ask in return of this box is you are going to be getting there the second half of my Teach Iced Tea. All I ask in return, I just need an empty tub. I just need it signed on the top for the shelf here, brother. That's all I ask in return. I
I'll
love
do
you.
that.
You're a good man. I appreciate you. And I've done some reflecting over the past couple of weeks, and it's been good, man. Like I got to get in touch with my boy from Ireland on a writing project. I stumbled upon a story I wrote. It had over 200,000 reads, and I decided to give it a season two, thinking that was gonna be nothing, but I got positive feedback.
Wait, you wrote
And
something that had over 200,000 reads?
yeah,
Hell yeah, buddy. Good job. Hell yeah.
yeah, I've been making the wood coasters, as you know. I got to work on the finish, but I helped an older woman out. I cut the branches down myself. I dried them myself, and I've been working on them. It's a long and slow and frustrating process, but things have been just on the up and up, man. But also, just another spoiler of what is in there for you and Recon. Yes, just for the record, as far as right, let's see right here. If anyone wants to know, let's see. Let's see what the magic number is right there. Uh, let's see. I'm gonna screenshot this to you. And what does that number say for the K right there, Mr. Teach? You'll see it somewhere. You'll go underneath reads, where it says Relentless 41. Ignore the plot.
Yes.
Ignore the plot.
225K reads. Yep.
Yes, and after that, it was a different one, man. Like that was around Christmas time into New Year 2020, and I gotta tell you, during my breakup and during the quarantine, it was hard to write romance, but that was the only thing keeping me sane, and I grinded through it. 50 chapters later, it sat for a bit, and then I kind of looked at it, and I'm like, let me surprise people because it's New Year's again. I put a pilot episode, got good feedback, and we're on for season two. But back on topic for the show and this program. I'm not sure if the two of you have tried these.
We have not yet.
You're getting 2 scoops of each. Yep, you and Recon get to try. I understand that these are going to be acquired tastes. Now the trombone juice, I will say, it's one of those tubs where the second or third time I had it, it got better. Maybe it's because you mix up the tub, you shake it a little bit, let settle. I don't know. The dragon meat is going to be a very acquired taste. And I sent Bry a package, and he's got a couple of these going out his way too. And again, I just mark this as Pez because to me it tastes like Pez candy, just as what it is. And further on, there's going to be a couple of things heading your way. Next package, there is a can in your current package from a brand we have not tried on this show. At least I don't think you have. I could be wrong. But you're going to be getting one of these along with the peach from Accelerator
I've
or
seen them, but I've never had them.
with the orange ice pop. So I mentioned this a couple of times before Christmas, everybody. They did finally come. I was short a box. So it was buy a case and enter the code. You're going to get free shipping and a free case of orange ice pop. They gave me the orange ice pop. They didn't give me my bundle. I emailed them, no questions asked. They gave me our tracking number, and it was
Good,
there the next
good.
couple of days. So, mission Accomplish. The eagle has landed. Yes, yes. So you're going to be having those shipped out to you. And I'm actually liking it so far. There's going to be a couple interesting ones. And one that I'm actually going to be, Bryce is going to be a couple minutes behind on this, but I'm excited to know what he thinks about the island guava. So you're going to be getting the peach, the bomb pop, and the orange ice pop, which I'll be gladly trying it with you. But to be honest with you, I've tried the cherry ice pop. It's one of those cherry, and it has another faint taste to it, kind of like a candy would, or you could actually taste like where it's like that. It has like that ice pop taste. It's like the almost like
Lush,
a frost taste, maybe a slush taste.
that
But I
syrupy
take it
taste.
over little bit, but not really. I take it over the G Fuel cherry lollipop personally. And one thing I was this was before a game day, last regular season, and congrats on the Lions, by the way. Me and you both have a bye week going into football this weekend.
Never in my
Um,
29, almost 30 years of life would I ever thought I would see the Lions actually do this well, let alone actually have a chance to hit.
for 2 years in a row, mind you.
I mean, yeah, last year, but like this year, they're actually looking good. Last year it
Oh
was like,
no, last year they look good too. I mean, again, dude, you're one game away from the freaking Super Bowl.
mm-hmm.
Except
Yep.
that some people would say fluke year. No, you're back and you have like 20 injured guys,
Well, last year
possibly
lit a
more.
fire under our ass, and then yeah, like the last three games, half the defense been injured.
Yeah, but Dan Campbell's coaching ability, it's like his coaching style is like have nuts the size of bowling balls and let's just go at it. You know, as he said, bite people's kneecaps off. But something I found out when I was going shopping. Now, teach as to everybody in this audience right now. For the actual retail price, meaning one unit,
What is this? The Price
not
is Right?
not yeah, I know it sounds like Price is Right, but for the price of $1.59 for just one can, 200 milligrams of caffeine, is it worth considering? Is it worth a try?
Depends. Does it look appetizing? Does it seem like it has a good formula? Does it present a reason for me to try it? Honestly,
Let's
nine
see.
like price isn't always going to be the thing that makes me want to try something, because that could also be the thing that makes me want to not more try it, whether of course high or low. Like of course,
Okay,
if it
first
if
off, it's 200 milligrams caffeine.
sure,
Does have taurine.
but I
It's a
more
okay. So here's the thing. It is a generic brand. It's a store brand off of another reputable brand.
oh, is this what I think it is?
I sent this to you just to
Yeah, it
keep
is.
you on track.
Yep.
The audience does not know this.
Mm-hmm.
Aldi's now makes, and it's peach flavored. There's a blue raspberry, typical, a peach, and there's some tropical something, but I wasn't down about it. But how can you fuck up peach? So here we have it. This is generic Alani. They make generic Red Bull in the regular, the sugar free, and now the watermelon. They make the regular, the sugar free, the orange, and the paradise generic of the monster, generic 5 hour energy, and now they make knockoff Alani. So, did I have you at peach like your lady said?
Man, you always have me at beach.
I had a feeling. Blue
Peaches, peaches.
raspberry, everybody does it. Peach, oh, I have your attention, brother.
Mm-hmm.
So, $1.59. When sometimes you go to the supplement store or the gas station or wherever, and these are $3. By me, the 2 for $4 isn't around anymore, unless the thing's about to go bad. Yeah, like Monsters, they're 3 for $6 now. 2 for $4 is freaking gone. It's just how it is. Call it inflation, call it Connecticut, call it whatever. But man, shall we?
What?
I'll probably save this for the morning, but I'll probably just sample now. We'll see if this is actually worth it or not because I'm willing to grab the other. Yeah, Bri, they have knockoff Red Bull, and it doesn't taste the same, but I can't complain. I wouldn't mind buying the knockoff Red Bull from all these. The brand is called Summit Thunder, I think. Thunder or Lightning or one of the other. Yeah, regular candied peach. It's exactly like I'd have to compare that to the Alani straight up. But let's see, water, natural flavors, citric acid, taurine. It doesn't tell me how much taurine, but I know it's got 200 milligrams caffeine.
They don't label how much taurine
Although
on
I'd
it.
like to see, yes, Red Summit maybe. Yeah, no. So basically, I want to tip this over now, and it's got a shiny label. So you know how like it'll tell you like the energy blend in some of them
Hmm.
after like the actual label. Like I could see on here the calcium, I could see the vitamin C, the niacin, the B12, B5, B6, the biotin. It'll tell me the caffeine content, does not tell me the taurine content. Which I actually like the way like Red Bull and Monster and other brands do it. Let's see if it has it here on Accelerator. Let's see. Natural caffeine content, 200 milligrams. Yeah, it does not tell you how much taurine is in here. Which again, right? Let's see what we got here.
Seems kind of weird to not,
Citric
include that
acid,
info.
electrolyte. Let's see. Natural caffeine, green bean, green tea extract, sodium citrate, magnesium citrate, cellulose, natural flavor. Huh. I guess there's no taurine in here. Although there is ashwagandha in here. In the accelerator rather. But yeah, I'm not seeing taurine on this thing. Interesting. It is good though. It does taste good. I got the R1 saving for when we try these together.
So you have this label as episode 142, 2025, recapping 2024 and more. And I've thought about it a lot. And I don't know if you realize this, Mr. Relly, and I don't know if the audience realizes this.
Go
Do you
for it.
realize we are going on year 4 of the Caffeinated podcast?
Yeah, I do.
This is the 4th year we have done it. And it feels very
Yeah,
weird to say that because it still
it
feels like
really
just
does.
yesterday we started it.
Yeah, it's just starting being like two guys just seeing if we had chemistry or not. And then next thing you know, we're like shipping each other packages and, you know, talking to each other during the weekends and debating like what topic works or not and having some like big headlines like Face Clan leaving G Fuel and then coming back and, you know, Ghost doing this.
It's been
A lot
4
of big
years. We're going into the
Johnny
4th
Price
year.
being
Every
on.
every year we'll give you 40 episodes. That means we're about to hit after this year we'll hit episode 200. It'd be crazy to think that. And yeah, I mean, like let's go back and recap 2024. Like I've been looking at like the stuff that like we cover, a lot of the big updates, announcements, like this time last year. I remember it was one of like the last few times I would be doing the podcast in my old place.
Yeah.
About this time last year, I was traveling to go get Recon to bring her back, and then that's when the podcast started for me to record in here, our new place. Jimbo came on for an episode and took my place. and was kind enough to cover for that episode too when I was away.
Yeah, and we just found out that we just like hit off and have chemistry. And he's like the realest guys. Like, I mean, I I cherish that guy, man. I do. And that's the main reason why so of the courtesy of the Caffeinated podcast, we did give them a item that was on their registry. I think it was a teapot, if I'm correct. I think it was a teapot. Yeah. For when him and Barb got married. Congrats to the both of them, and to congrats Jimbo because he knows how to put on a show, stream or not.
Jimbo is a good guy. We appreciate him being on. I mean, we've had a lot of like flavor releases this year. There was a lot of different things that we tested in 2024. 2024 honestly was an interesting year for the podcast. It kind of felt like a rebuild year almost in a way.
Yeah.
Because the industry, in my humble opinion, was weird last year. It was very up and down. There was a lot of weird releases. There was like sporadic releases in between. Last year was very weird.
Also, you want to know what's actually pretty weird? How about this for context? If you were to go back to 2021, and if you were to going back to, 2021, 2022, where if you remember the last saying gives us some samples to try, and then we order the Big Mac box and we're trying stuff and all that jazz. Would you think back then that in 2024, Glitch would release more flavors than G Fuel?
Back in 24. Originally, I would not have guessed that.
But if you were to say that 2 years ago, the answer is no.
I would not have guessed that, but I would be proud of them for it. The fact that they were starting to ramp up enough to they can have those big releases to the same.
Well, dude, we counted it. It's
schedule.
over 20. And G Fuel, they're trying to remain the same, outside of a big release once or twice. That's about it. Like they ran out of flavors, they ran out of what works, they ran out of a little bit of steam. And to be quite honest with you, it's nice for the bigger creators, but for the smaller fish, it's hard, man. And it really sucks when G feels like, hey, I kind of wish that, let's say, you know how like when there's a pop-up screen that says, hey, you want 20% off your first order? Instead of use this code X, I'd rather have them say, hey, you want to use a streamer's code for X amount off your first order? And it gives you a list of like partners and affiliates and people to watch. Wouldn't that be kind of cool?
Mm-hmm.
That way, instead of this just generic code being used, it goes to somebody. Like, let's say there's a spotlight, right? Let's say they want to test something. There's a contest, let's say, 30 partners, okay? As in, hey, we start the first. Hey, you, partner, let's say it's you. Okay, so if anyone wants 20% off their first order, they're using code TEACH for that day. And the second, it's somebody else, and keep on going. I mean, just the thing that just sucks is every time that the amount of people that have gone to the website for the first time, and that's anywhere, that's Advanced GG, that's G Fuel, that's wherever, they get a generic code where I think it should go to a creator. And it's been getting harder and harder.
Just trying to find
and I know
I couldn't find it.
People are going to switch brands. We've switched brands. We've tried a lot of brands. We've had people switch it up. We've seen creators go to 3 different brands in the course of the last couple of years.
Honestly, if I had to give one thing, if I had to give one thing about my life and soul to this podcast, my whole thing for it from the very beginning, and I've stated for a long time, people have gotten upset with it, but I think that's the whole thing for this podcast. Open up your horizons. There are other companies. Try other companies. See what's out there. Don't always just stick to one brand and their formulas, because you could be surprised how a different brand's formula affects you better.
That is very true.
coming from somebody who used to consume 1,600 milligrams of caffeine because I didn't think the formula was all that great, later on realizing I was blind, to now consuming maybe if that, like 450, 600 a day, if that.
Wait, down to that low? Really?
Yeah, I'd maybe have 2-3 shakers a day.
I remember you were saying closer to 800, not like 600.
No,
Yeah, I plugged this wire and I completely forgot.
I would say more like 2-3 shakers a day. Don't
That's
usually ever need a fourth.
that's crazy. But I mean, for me, it's like it's so normal for me to have just like one, maybe two servings, depending on what it is. Like if it's like 80 milligrams, I might have like three. But typically to me, it's like one, maybe two. But I mean, for you, I remember of you because mostly you were consuming cans, if I'm correct, right?
It was a lot of cans and powder. It was a lot of both.
No, but there was a lot of cans early on in the podcast, early podcast days. You were a G Fuel can guy. But this is when we go by formula because no taurine, doesn't matter how much caffeine's in there. Where's the kick? Where's the drive? Where's the enhancement?
It's also crazy to go back down memory lane this time last year, through now till again like this time, like everything we did in 2024. This time again last year, one again was our move, but to shoot, it was just about the time I was announcing to everybody that we had an opportunity to actually make Teach Tea real. Like, where did the time go? It's oh,
It's been a
it's
lot of
already flashed.
celebrating. It's been a lot of life. It's been a lot of camaraderie. But to say the least, if we were going back on 2024 memory lane, if we had to go by powder flavor of the year, I think it's kind of an obvious one, right?
You tell
Kind of
me.
obvious, right?
You tell me.
It's Teach Iced Tea. It's Glitch Teach Iced Tea.
I,
I think we both kind of know that one.
honestly would have never guessed it in a million years that when we started this podcast and I had spoke it into existence in the very early days of this podcast, that here we are in our fourth, going into our 3.5 year, our 4th year, it would be real and we'd be able to share it with others.
I cried when I got that announcement, man. I did.
How do you think I felt?
I I don't want to imagine the conversation you and Recon had that day or night, but I can only imagine.
And then shortly after, about this time last year too, we had tried, Rain had released Sour Gummy Worm, and we had the Monster Fantasy Ruby Red.
Ugh,
Ruby Red was
both
okay. It was just okay.
both downers in my opinion.
I liked the Sour Gummy Worm, but it got a little old quick. It wasn't one that I would repeatedly go to a lot, but I would happily drink it
Inconsistent,
again. And it wasn't that it was
inconsistent.
inconsistent. I just didn't find myself wanting to reach for it again a lot personally.
So what was the best can of 2024?
I am going.
And you've also been able to try more. Like is it the Rainstorm Mango? Speaking of which, there's supposed to be a couple monster and raindrops next month. I mean, getting that rain haze is definitely on my list. The monster Viking berry is on our list. The monster blue raspberry or the ultra blue or the ultra Hawaiian blue, whatever.
Ooh, I can't.
I mean, I was considering it, man. Plus, we had some things make a comeback, like the Monster Green Tea got reinvented and came back. Like to me, that was really high up on my list personally.
So was it last year that Cotton Candy with Rise was released?
I don't know, but if it is that's our answer. I want to say yes,
Because
and
I couldn't remember if it was released last year or like at the tail end of 23.
yeah, that's a good one.
So I will say Rise Con Candy for my answer, unless that is technically 2023. Otherwise,
Hmm.
I'm going to give you a hot take answer. There is a
Oh Lord.
can that came out last year that I surprisingly enjoyed.
Oh Lord.
I
Is it
really
a
enjoy.
guilty pleasure one or what is it?
What are you defining as guilty pleasure?
A guilty pleasure would be if you were to go with the prime orange cream.
Yeah, guilty pleasure.
Son of a bitch, how'd I know? And I honestly hate the brand, but I'm not gonna lie, that did deserve an honorable mention. That is the best can they made. The fact that that didn't make a bottle, I'm very surprised.
Well, to me,
Or
I
I
would
didn't know
say
if they
that
made it.
unless the cotton candy was in 2024, I would say for me that would be the flavor of last year per can. Now, I do. This is going to be weird to say. I do think there needs to be an honorable mention, and the honorable mention actually goes out to W.
Hmm.
Actually,
You
I
know,
I, I will give that one another honorable mention. Welch's Grape.
I will gladly give it to him. That mango orange cream.
That mango orange cream was
And
surprising.
we also got another honorable mention here. Ty's
Yeah, that's what I
absolutely
just said.
right.
Yeah,
The Ghost Welch's grape.
Ghost did a good job with that one, and that one also didn't kill our stomach.
You know, I can't wait to get a case of the black cherry that's coming out, although apparently it's supposed to be limited.
Scrap everything I said. I knew what the best can of 2024 is. It
Oh Lord.
wasn't the prime. It wasn't even Rise if it was cotton candy. And again, it beats honorable mentions, it beats all of the above. And it came out at the end of last year.
What?
Red Bull. Iceberry vanilla.
Really?
That flavor was so good. That's arguably one of the most now goated flavors
Regular or
of Red
sugar
Bull.
free?
I mean, both are good. I actually really like the sugar free though.
Same. But you're right, that's also an honorable mention.
No, I wouldn't even
But
say
it's
that's
like
honorable
so
mention. For me, that was the can of 2024.
okay, so I'm glad that we're just like talking out loud because I was thinking the same thing. But to say the least, oh, also, Bry also never got to try the Dubby cans. I actually, well, he's gonna watch this sometime, and hopefully it gets safe to him. But he's got a lot of accelerator cans coming. He does have gamer subs coming. He does have glitch coming to him. But he's also got both the W cans coming.
Now, I also would have never.
I pray to God that that thing gets there okay. I really do.
I also would have never expected for that sentence to come out of my mouth, but I am a person that wholeheartedly believes outside the podcast that no matter what it is, credit deserves to be credited. And they came out, they made cans, they actually weren't bad. They were like pretty decent. They deserve credit and notice for making something decent because many other brands out there could put out cans and they are been terrible.
Alani Winter Wonderland for me.
That was
Honorable
your
mention.
flavor of last
No, I'm
year?
saying honorable mention.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, the winter Red Bulls definitely get to it. I don't even know, man. I'm stuck. It's so hard. It
For what?
really
Best
is.
can of last year?
Yeah.
Nah, best can of last year is easily Red Bull's Ice Vanilla Berry. Best powder of last year is Glitch's Teach Iced Tea. A slight bias, but
Let's see.
and
If
then
I'm
even
correct, nope. The Rise Cotton Candy came out April or I want to say April this year, last year.
so okay.
So I'm gonna go with that Rise. Yes, I'm gonna go with the Rise Cotton Candy. Makes me think though.
And last
By
year
the way,
too.
we did get a poll. So I did ask on the poll. There's only 5 votes. Would you buy a 200 milligram caffeine can for a retail price of $1.59? All 5 votes voted yes.
Also, let us not forget all the guests that we had on the show last year as well, with Jimbo
I
making a
also do
return
want to reach
appearance,
out to a couple of people and see how things go.
Gobble making a
Like
return appearance.
a couple return appearances. I do want to make some new guests as well. It's just been a matter of timing, and it's always kind of screwed up because I don't want to just like come back out of nowhere with the guest because it kind of throws everything off a bit. You just kind of want everybody to return to the routine, get that sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like for
So,
summer when we take like 2 weeks off, it's kind of weird when you come back open up with a guest.
so I will say for any guests that we have on the show this year, they need to be they need to be guests that, like, I'm just gonna say it unprofessionally, has a pair and is not afraid to say stuff out loud, like publicly. Because they're
Yeah.
like, for the example, if there's a brand on here that someone is partner with, like, we want to highlight you and everything, but if there's an opinion we have on said company, we're going to still hold true to that. So, like, for the example of, like, hey, how do you feel about dyes? You cool with being a part of the dye thing? Do you want it out? Do you hope? You ever given them feedback, taking the dice out? That kind of a thing. Catch my drift.
Well, I mean, I think that's what makes kind of somebody like Jimbo so special for air material. Now, I understand that we're friends with the guy, but at the end of the day, it's just no matter how you put it. Like, for instance, I'm staring at waifu candy right now, and he will be like, "Bro, I don't care how much they pay me or they compensate me or how long I've been with them. I'm going to forever and take with my grave say that that is trash. That is the forbidden powder. Like he will tell you as it is. Dies. He goes, I could care less. You know what I mean? Even though it may be wrong to somebody, he will just say it with his chest out. And do feel like some people are too nice and some people are a little nerve wracking to say a couple of things. And, like, for example, if we ever have the Rogue CEO on here, and I've been wanting to reach out to him for a while, the fact that he called out Gamer Subs and G Fuel and said, guess what? We have a better formula than both of them, and they are high sellers. Why are we better? We do more than memes. We have taurine, we have more caffeine, and we have a better formula than these two side to side to side. Said with his chest out, meant it, wrote about it, gave details. Didn't make a meme, didn't make a TikTok, made an article himself. There's been some controversy over Rogue. If you remember, there's the V2 formula, maltodextrin free. And then, they're selling V1 and V2 at the same time. That was kind of odd in my opinion. But he's done well. He's done well. And I'd like to just see somebody or just anybody from Rogue speak their mind.
And then the whole, email thing.
The email thing, to be honest with you, I'm on his side with it at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, right, Teach, and, I know we're talking about, being, and blunt and honest about it, but if Ben ever sent you a survey personally, would you get offended by it?
No, but that's the thing, though, is that he portrayed it to be personable, and it was not personable. Truly, that's the big takeaway.
I understand that it was like half baked personal and half baked kind of too personal and then like half baked survey. I feel like he was just trying to do too much, in my opinion.
I want to believe he had good intent, but his execution wasn't the proper way to go about it.
Dude, I think that I agree. Like I said, I was in his side, right? Do I think he screwed up? Yes. But I support support him for what he tried to do? Yes. And it just kind of goes, oh, don't know what the hell happened there, but okay. Well, it kind of goes like this to me, Teach. If somebody was to, there's people that drink brands on the side. I won't name them, but there's been people that have been affiliated with companies that will be drinking Red Bull on the side just off camera. Things like that happen. And I know that there's adulting and everything else. So when included in this survey, no matter if it's personable or where if it's cut and dry like everybody else, like what happens if Ben or somebody from Glitch were to give you the survey and they said the following: do you still buy Glitch? Do you still enjoy Glitch? Are you doing this strictly for a code? Do you enjoy the flavor? Is there something we can improve on? Like, you know what I mean? I think it's a good idea, but once again, I feel like there is a big mistake. I feel like he learned. I think he moved on from it. We'll find out.
I mean, the big thing to that like regard is though, like he presents it at first and seems in a way that is like he cares, and then when you get to the second half and dig a little bit deeper, it just kind of doesn't seem to be to that way. Like, I mean, I can say on Glitch's behalf that like I have the VP and like will reach out to me just as a general like, hey, how have you been? How are you doing? Like, everything holding up well? Just wellness check, human check. Are you doing okay? Like, they're not going to be caring about, oh, Teach, we haven't seen you buy a new flavor in 3 months. What's going on? Do you not
Yeah,
care
that
about our
that was the
brand
part
anymore?
where I thought was wrong. It's just like, don't track when's the last time somebody marked an order. We don't need to go there. I
Or
mean,
like,
everybody. I mean, it's public information for the company, at least, or at least it's company information rather. But I didn't think it needed to be brought up. If he didn't bring like your last purchase was here, like it sounds like you might be like doing like budget cuts or something. And that just ain't right. Now, for me, I don't have an issue with. I would not have an issue personally, but I feel like other people would have certain issues. Like, dude, I am so scared for a buddy of mine who's a pro skater because the shoe company he's affiliated with, a ton of people got the door, got the goodbye. And at least two of them were Olympians. One for USA, one the biggest guy from France. Yeah. So it's shit like that where you kind of get scared. And there's some things in the works that I'm not sure if I could say, but I'm scared for the guy. Like, is the project he's working on going to go up in smoke? I have no idea. But the fact that when you see bigger names get cut that are much bigger than you, then they're showing the door. What does that mean for you? Does that mean, wow, I made it, or holy shit, I'm next? I don't know. That's just how it goes, man. Like, it's crazy. And it's so rare to see like these companies up for sale too. Like Ghost being sold. Just think about it. As we're speaking, 90% of Ghost is being sold right now. And the other 10% is coming sooner before you know it. I don't know what the hell Dr. Pepper's going to do with the brand.
probably give it better distribution, ramp up
I don't know about
funding.
that because if you go by this, the thing is, too, is that sometimes I feel like you just have to wait your time. Because you know what I actually found out? You know what year Celsius started?
2002.
2004. When we didn't hear about Celsius when we started this show, correct?
I think that's when they were slowly becoming more of a
That's when
thing.
they were picking up. But it's like for me, I this is 2021ish, and I'm kind of thinking to myself, I've seen nobody drink Celsius. And you got these old people I'm working with going, oh, well, according to the news 5 years ago, Red Bull's going to kill you. But yet we're seeing now these, these CNAs and these nurses walking around, drinking 2 to 4 Celsius or Alani's a day. And it's like, oh, Red Bull's the enemy. Alani and Celsius are not. Wow. Right, right. I see where the problem is. Propaganda. That's what.
Prop.
Mm. For fuck's sake, if Celsius was sending people to space and telling people to, you know, hydroplane a snowmobile across a lake, etc., maybe they'd be having a digest about what they put in their drink too. But yeah, to say the least, man, it's nuts. Like I actually looked around to it. Celsius is the third biggest energy drink company in the world now.
Mm-hmm. It's
Some people
crazy
blame
about that,
Flow
honestly.
Rida, some people blame Jake Paul, but yeah, they're number 3 right now. And if you remember when we reviewed it, it wasn't long ago where I think it was across 2023. Ghost by percentage had the biggest increase in revenue, and it was like 400%.
Well, they were really picking up steam, and they were also getting some good collabs.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Phase Clan or not, this was well before we found out that Ghost was being sold. I mean, I don't think distribution was really the problem because, I mean, you kind of went to where you wanted to go. Because Ghost is kind of it's a supplement brand, not an energy brand, in my opinion. Just like Rise. It's okay if you don't see Rise in every gas station in America. Would it be kind of cool? Yeah. But does it need to be? No. Because at the end of the day, Ghost has their protein shakes. They got their, their amino acids.
Well, I
They
think
have
that's the point,
all
though,
this
is
stuff.
yes, is you do want them in every gas station for more sales, so that way you can be number 3. That's why they have the energy drinks, so that way they can compete in those markets. And then, like Monster Red Bull doesn't have protein, so they're not competing with Ghost Protein, but now Ghost is trying to compete with those products. So that's why they do need the bigger distribution. They need more funding. They need more
I just think that they were
revenue.
doing all right for the company that they were, a
Oh, they
company
were,
that wasn't around long.
but when you
I
have
think
such
they
big
were
growth
on
and
their
you
way
need
there.
more,
I
you
think
gotta
they were
take
on
bigger
their way.
capital.
True. I mean, unless the guy was trying to do like what was his name? I can't think of his name. The guy that owned Bang.
I've never learned his name, but I know what you're talking about.
I I forget his name, but the guy that owned Bang is now trying to do AI energy and trying to
Yeah, good
build the
luck.
same hype.
Good luck, bub.
Exactly. I mean, you know what they say, it's like sometimes it comes down to I'm not even sure how much Monster bought Bang for. I
I
don't
don't
even
recall.
remember what they got bought for. But at the end of the day, right? You got to go into the realization of things. You're tackling on like somebody told me this. Why would somebody buy one's name? I'll buy your distributor, I'll buy your vendors, I'll buy your inventory, I'll take on the expense of your building or buy your building or continue the lease. What is your name worth? They had all the assets. What they need from them? They need the recipe secrets, but that could have just been a purchase. The whole thing didn't matter. And in all honesty, you could have literally just did what General Motors did to Hummer, if you remember. Do you remember or not really?
Buy them out, build it, scrap it.
Basically, they rebadged Hummer under GMC, and then I think the recession happened, and then they said we're not continuing it.
Yeah, I think they gave it like 2 or 3 more years, and then they were done.
Yeah. And then they said, "Hey, we're going to make the GMC Hummer and we're going to make it electric and give it the crab walk." Yeah. Crazy. It's like you got the rights, but I mean, also, I understand why Sour Heads was being discontinued because they now have Sour Ropes.
Mm.
They got this other flavor coming out, but because of the font and it was so small, I couldn't read it. It wasn't legible. It's not on the website yet. But this is going crazy good, man. It's gonna be an exciting. It's gonna be an exciting one. Holy hell! That was not the update I needed on my phone. Well, apparently it's supposed to storm this weekend.
Mm.
Great. Here it is. I finally found it. Thank you, Stacked. The new Bang flavor is going to be called Any Means Orange.
Any means orange?
Yeah.
Why does it sound like you took floor cleaner and said, "Oh, the bottle looks orange. It says it's orange, so any means orange. Can it up."
freaking guy took Agent Orange and said, "Let's put it in a can." And I'm sorry, but if it seems weird to have because as you know, this year they're discontinuing Monster Ultra Red.
Yep.
It's weird. It's not the end of the world. It's just weird.
It's not a flavor I really reached for. Didn't really care for it.
But you know, it's another one that I never really reached for.
Hmm.
Ultra Orange.
I
Now,
like orange.
Monster Original Juice, the OG, yes. The Ultra Orange, not so much. I feel like there could be a couple things to substitute that. Personally, like you're telling me when the Rain Haze comes out, that won't be a proper substitute. And by the way, the description of that keeps changing. Remember when Phase X came out, the description they said it was like grapefruit, grape, and something else?
Mm-hmm.
Lemon, something crazy. And then me and you just kind of look at you and we're like, white cherry Gatorade. Come on. White cherry. The way that the new rain coming out called Haze, it's like, oh, it's grapefruit, it's lemon, it's lime, it's orange, it's. And I'm like, is this going to be white cherry Gatorade or are you just going to break my balls and give me this mystery undesired citrus again? Time to be straight up. You make it sound like it's going to be a mystery flavor. And it's just diabolical. Diabolical, I say.
It's even crazy to look back and see all the changes that have happened even so recently that still feel so far away. Like, for the example, like even the Welch's grapefruit. We did that video or that episode just 3 months ago. Doesn't even feel like it was 3 months ago.
Okay. Oh, also, speaking of, Ghost is doing something that, if you remember, I went to Walmart, I got my hands on the original cans,
Mm-hmm.
those white cans. And to me, they tasted like Phase Up. But here's what they're doing they're taking the red berry and the sour blue raspberry, both from Sour Patch. Then they're doing the original. They're making them in 8.4-ounce 4 packs.
Why?
I don't know. And to be honest with you, like, hear me out. Teach. You sell 16-ounce cans.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do 8-ounce cans and 4 packs. Why?
Less material, charge you the same price. Less amount,
That's
charge you the same price.
that's crap. Oh, also, I'm very surprised that Stacked had Advanced GG on their website. It's the Advanced GG winter sweater being advertised on here.
Oh, there's a topic last year I kept touching on, and I'm going to touch on it again because I think this needs to be touched on
Go
just
for it.
slightly as a very quick, very quick last minute thing. A topic I kept hitting on last year, all throughout 2024, at multiple different times, is how different bigger named creators were leaving G Fuel and going to other companies, or how bigger name creators were leaving Advanced GG and going to other places. AKA, there were a lot of bigger named creators that were leaving G Fuel and or
Yeah.
Advanced GG, but they were all going to gamer subs. And G Fuel, from what I learned recently, and I don't know how long it's been this way, but I just found out that Batty is no longer with G Fuel, and he is now with Gamer Subs.
That's been
That feels pretty
let's
recent.
see. Oh, Batty.
He was the one that won like
Oh, the guy. He's the one that won that contest.
with the flavor reskin, and it was like the
It was Hype Sauce reskin.
it was the hype sauce
And guys
reskin.
don't shaker. Yeah.
Yep.
Who was I thinking before? Actually, if you remember where they had that remember they had that partner bracket?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that basically like the forbidden bracket, and ever since then it was never the same again? Because look at the names that were on there. Let's see. Seabed was on there. Beat 'em ups was on there. You go up and down the line, there was a ton. People that own G Fuel fridges were on there. And not like won in a contest or bought. They somehow got from G Fuel. Like I said, G Fuel was investing very heavy in the can game. And I just think that after 2022, they kind of just fell on their face. 2020, it seemed cool. And then it just kind of fell off, and it was just early surprise hype. And I just think it was a bad formula, and they didn't get traction for it. I'm sorry. It just is what it is. I mean, I just can't wrap my head around it. I really can't. I really just think that it was a fun ride, but as far as G Fuel, as far as the fridges, as far as the cans, because I feel like they've invested so much into it. And I think you just got to cut your losses and move on. No more fridges. No more bullshit. Your big creators are gone. Like for example, we talked about Excusey, his flavor not being officially with him. Now, granted, the G Fuel will still continue selling the juice, and we will have eventually down the line Divine Peach probably reskinned. But if you
I
look
would
at
not
it,
be
everyone,
surprised.
yeah, but down the line, everyone's like, "Oh, Excusey's going to go to Gamer Subs." Well, it looks like he's trying to get hooked up by a Red Bull. And honestly, we should probably normalize, because it seems to be this ongoing trend, whether if it's Roblox, whether if it's day streaming, whether if it's this or that. This trend lately of streamers being fucking farm animals needs to stop.
Huh?
I don't know. You got Excusey that apparently doesn't do laundry. He just puts on brand new clothes, takes the tags off and the old clothes. He just has people donate them or throw them out or do whatever else. And the fact that he's saying, "Oh, my setup is dirty right now because I not affording maids this week," and then you fill them cleaning your room. You need a maid to clean your room because you're a filthy fuck. Because someone didn't tell you that you're a fucking animal. My grandfather owns Russo Farms. Might find a discount for you. For the hay bale, since you live in a fucking barn. You're killing me. So normalize not being a filthy fuck. And for you simps out there, I got news for you. Drying your shirt out in the sun ain't going to make the pit stains go away. It's not going to get rid of the smell. This Alaskan woman from Twitter told me something. Something relatable for you. No suds, no sex. Wash your freaking clothes, clean your freaking room. Scrub those pits with soap. Use some deodorant. You don't live in a barn. I could sell you some hay, but I can't help it if you decide to live in a fucking barn. Streaming people out there, whether if you stream for a hobby, stream for a living, you watch people, do whatever. I've seen a lot of people setups. I've seen people that work from home setups. Don't act like you live in a barn. Please so help me God.
And that's
The only
like
thing that we should hear
relentless.
dirty is when we got air in a can. By the way, I told you about the story where a guy came in my store and he said, air in a can's $5 a piece. Fuck this. I'm buying an air compressor.
Probably.
Yeah. So yeah, this guy literally said air in a can's $5 a can. Fuck this. An air compressor's $40. All the air attachments plus tax $60. And that guy probably never bought another air in a can all his life. 10 pounds of pressure, shh, done. But it
And
makes
with
me sick when you see 10 of these cans smushed on a counter along with dirty old plates of food and stuff with food still on it, and there's probably flies around that with stains on the carpet because you couldn't take 2 seconds.
And on that note, that is episode 142 as Mr.
Don't
Relly is rambling on about Asmongold and others on their life choices, etc., etc.
Well, again, you're not a filthy fuck. I'm not a filthy fuck.
Thank you
And
all
unlike
for
Neon, we're
reminiscing and
not a fucking
reliving
woman.
2024 with us.
We love you, everybody. Thank you for being part of this program. And we got a lot of fire returning, especially since Teach and Recon got to do some sampling for me. Now, you both don't got to do it live. There's a lot of stuff to try. Let me know, Brian. Who's the filthy fuck? You're gonna love this. Old time sake.
I saw it. Mm-hmm.
But I will say, the can I'd like to see us try live. I've been saving that for a while. And as far as the powder when it comes in, there's one tub in there I don't think I told you about. But by all means, enjoy. And let me know how you and Recon think about those 2 powders I told you about. We'll try the can in the show. A lot of stuff to try for ongoing, a lot of results to come in. But we'll table it for now. In the meantime, we are glad we're back. And you guys know the omen by now. Please stay safe, stay healthy, stay well. Tell your people you love them. Drink your freaking water. Get home safe. We love you all. Thank you for having us be your co hosts of Monday night. Take it easy and good night.